One really common thing that prevents people from actually living their purpose is avoiding things they feel resistant to. And I know this very well because I used to resist all kinds of things. I had these limiting beliefs. I thought that some things were cool and some things were stupid, and that actually kept me stuck in a place I actually didn't enjoy. So why do we feel resistance to things that would actually benefit us? We can once again go back to our beliefs and the environment we've grown up in, and that has shaped us into something that the society, our family, and external forces wanted us to be. And this is why there is resistance to things that you actually feel inside, but they're so deeply buried that you come up with excuses. You start laughing at things. You do all kinds of weird stuff to not go through with the thing that you actually want because it would reveal what kind of person you actually are. So when you feel this resistance, it's totally normal to kind of just come up with an excuse or just run away or do something instead of sitting with the feeling and taking action towards the thing that you actually want. Because once again, it has to do with fears, it has to do with this sense of not being enough for who you actually are when you are the truest to yourself. And this is the biggest problem. And this is the whole purpose of this channel, to get you to realize that it's totally okay to do what you want to do in life and how you feel your life would be the best version. And I want to share a story about resistance and how it played out in my life. And one of the biggest things was resisting meditation and this whole kind of this space of spirituality and kind of this growing from an inside point of view. I lived in a world where everything was external. I thought that external things are the things that make up life. And only after a lot of pain and kind of misery in relationships and just like the anxiety and these negative feelings just took such a huge proportions that I had to surrender. And the only thing you need to do when you feel resistance is to like surrender to it. You have to go and be like, okay, I don't know what it's gonna be, and I accept that I might feel all kinds of negative feelings, shame and worrying and all these feelings we try to avoid. And actually, behind the resistance is so much gratitude, love, and joy, and these things that really feel good. So the meditation thing was like, I come from a background from like extreme sports, and you have to be cool and you have to do these things that people think are really dangerous, and meditation wasn't that, at first at least. Nowadays I know that meditation can, like, for sure it can be like the most dangerous crazy feeling thing ever if you dare to go as deep into yourself. And it has opened up so many things in my life once I realized that, oh shit, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I am the problem. And it was actually the whole experience started from a Netflix show. I was bored. I had kind of watched all the things that I wanted, and a Headspace program popped up on the screen, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna give this a chance. I was alone at home, and I got to know the science behind it and the experiences people had, and kind of just really taking baby steps into this meditation world. And then at the end of the program, there was just a short meditation, and I did, and I started to watch this series for, I think it's a week or something, and I realized, like, okay, this is something I really don't know. I didn't know I didn't know, and this is like the majority of things we fail to see in life because we have no idea. It's not in our awareness. So I started to meditate. I decided that I was going to meditate for like 6 months in a row at least. And I did it. And some of the days were just like horrible, and it felt like this is so annoying. This is so pointless. And now, years after and years later, I know that that was one of the biggest changes in my life when I actually started to do it. And another big change that came with this surrendering to meditation was that I started to trust advice from other people. And this was something I didn't do before. I was so caught up in my own thing that I know the best for me, and I know everything. I'm in control. And now later on I understand that it was only about being a control freak and being afraid of actually trusting someone. And it probably has to do with like my growing up, and my father died, and all these things that are deep wounds. But once I got the experience of managing to do a good thing for myself with the help of someone's external advice, it opened up that door too. And now if someone gives me an advice, I'm like, okay, maybe, I don't know. And then I can go and try it and see if that advice really works for me. So surrendering to the resistance can open up so many new doors. And once I learned this and I got this experience that surrendering can be a really powerful thing, I actively seek out to do that now. It's not always easy, and my ego comes up with all kinds of excuses and concepts and ideas of why I can't do it. But then I catch myself and I'm like, wait a minute, there might be a really good thing in this advice. So surrendering is actually the path to growth, and resistance is kind of the map. That's the signs that, hey, maybe you should do this. And I might be wrong. So what? That's human, but we still try to avoid being wrong because we avoid certain feelings. So the message of today is to accept that you are resistant to something, and then turn it out to switch it into curiosity and be like, if someone else has a perspective that this might be a good thing, maybe it's a good idea to try it, and not judge and not be like, no, that's not for me. I cannot do that. And the same with like public speaking and talking on camera. I thought that was the most stupid thing, and now I feel that's the thing I enjoy the most. Kind of just expressing myself and expressing my experiences so that it can help someone else get ahead in life, because that's something that's helped me also. So it's such a simple thing, like most things in life, to just feel when there is some resistance, and then you start questioning, why is it here? What from what source is this resistance coming? And then you can start working with it and be like, I might be wrong, I might be right, but I'll just try. And then I have an experience of knowing if it's right or wrong for me. And life becomes an endless adventure when you do it like this. And I think people are missing out so much of their true potential and their purpose in life because they let some tiny resistances hinder them from taking action and trying. And especially if you have a really conservative family and you have like strict rules and you have to be a certain way, it can feel really difficult to go in a new direction. But I would encourage you to try and see for yourself how it actually feels and what comes up when you do the experience, because that's another thing that we don't know how it's going to make us feel before we try something. And if we don't try, we will never know. And this is a part of the you don't know what you don't know. And that's like 90% of all things in life. So the only way to find out is to actually try and to experience things, embody the thing, and be like, oh, this thing felt like that. Try out bungee jumping, try out wall climbing, go and do a weird yoga thing, or whatever it is, what you feel called to do, and then you sense a resistance. This is a sign that you should go there. If there's this initial spark, and then there's like this, no, I can't, then you most probably should go there, because you will find out so much more about yourself and your life purpose and all the things you are truly going to enjoy in your life. So, the messages of the day is, if you find a resistance, you just go and find out for yourself if it's really good. And you have to surrender. You have to kind of surrender your ego and be like, oh, I didn't used to do this. Now I will try to do this. And I promise you, your life will change so much, because this is straight from my heart, from my experience. And now I'm gonna let you go and do whatever you feel called to do. My name is Mitz, your future purpose. I'm all about helping you find more fulfillment and purpose in life. Life is beautiful. Let's go. See you in another video. Peace out.